Welcome to the Full Inbox. My name is Peyton Fox, your email marketing best friend, here to help you through every subject line and CTA along the way. Today's episode, I hope it doesn't give you any undue stress, but it's all about planning your Black Friday right now. Yes, I know it's July, but trust me, you'll do yourself a world of good if you start prepping now. So let's get into my checklist on things that you should take care of this month to make sure you're ready for Black Friday. Okay, so Black Friday, it's huge. And it kind of can depend on your brand and your niche, how big of an impact it can be on your business. For a lot of e-commerce brands though, BFCM, Black Friday, Cyber Monday is, it's showtime. Like, this is time to actually crush your sales, do amazing numbers, hopefully beat last year. And that's the goal, right? Let's beat last year's numbers. Let's have a record year. So when doing that, I know you're thinking like, okay, it's July, Peyton. Like, how are we making this happen now to make sure we're set up for success later? So I have a little bit of a checklist that I've created that kind of runs through some easy things that you can do right now to set yourself up for success. So let's jump right into it. So the first thing that you can do is audit yourself. And I know that just sounds like a rip-roaring good time, but auditing your past email performance is pivotal to know what is going to work this year. So what are you auditing? A big thing first I would start with is, what did you do last year and the year before and the year before that? So what are the metrics that we got from that Black Friday sale? Did we do anything different? Did we run a different type of promotion? Did it get more click engagement? Did a certain email outperform another? Why was that? So this is what I do for a lot of my clients when I feel like so many kind of pop up and they're like, hey, help, Black Friday, I need your help. Can you come help? So it's the first thing I do. I audit, I take a look, what did we do last year? The year before that, because we need to set some benchmarks, some expectations, okay? We can't expect to 20x our Black Friday sale if we don't know what worked and what didn't, okay? So open rate, click rate, conversion rate, segmentation. Did we do any segmentation? How did we do it? How did it affect engagement and sales? All these things. So you want to take an inventory of your past Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all the things that you did to set yourself up. So make a list. I do basically a full export of the raw data from like Klaviyo, for example, pull it into a spreadsheet, and I am ranking everything with those in mind. So what worked well, what didn't? So audit is so important, because you can't just say, hey, I think this year, let's do a BOGO sale. We've never done one before, but maybe this year it'll do crazy good. Like, sure, maybe it might work, but you are playing with, your biggest sales season of the year, and you're trying to like experiment. This is not the time for experimentation. The time for experimentation is actually right now. So that kind of pulls me into my second piece. So when you're in July, August, September, this is a great time to get creative. Now, you don't want to go too crazy. I don't mean like email your whole list or anything. I'm talking specifically about maybe promotions, testing things with subject lines, testing new designs. So the time right now versus last year can be very different sometimes. So when you're comparing your performance in that last step, you may say, okay, but my subscriber list grew by 20K since then. Like, my engagement's so different. So that's why this window right now in the summer is so huge. You want to test some promotions. You want to test some new subject lines, test some new segmentation. We're figuring out with our list as it currently is now, what works best. So you don't have to test out your Black Friday offer, for example, because that is going to be your best sale. So you don't want to say like 70% off site wide, but we do want to test a percentage sale versus a BOGO. A dollar off sale versus a gift with purchase. What gets people to take action? What is pulling in your list as it currently is now? So testing is huge. The summer is perfect for that. Do it now while you have some wiggle room before the inbox gets absolutely chaotic come fall. Now, this is one that I love to do, but that is checking out what the competitors did. Okay, this is big. Now, I'll put a little asterisk up at the top. Just because your competitor did it doesn't mean that it like worked for them, doesn't mean that it like blew it out of the water, but you can kind of take in and audit other things that your competitors did. So you can go to a site like milled.com and start to review your competitors' emails last year. So, for example, if you're in the coffee space, maybe Chamberlain Coffee is a big competitor. You can type in Chamberlain Coffee, look at the emails they sent in 2023, and take note. Did they change up their offer? Did they do something special with their subject lines? Did they use a GIF in the top? Did they do a lot of, extra freebies? So take note, like we're just collecting data here to help fuel our strategy. So audit your competitors because you may find a trend. What I love to do is even look at the year prior and the year prior. Are they sticking with the same sale each year? Well, that's kind of a big indication. It works super well for them. So taking note. All right, competitor A did this, competitor B did this. I liked that about it. Ooh, this could work really well for us, actually. So we're auditing, we're checking out, we're sneaking in on our competitors to get some insight in potentially what they might do this year to know if we'll maybe beat them out. But you're not going to know for sure, and you definitely don't know if the performance they had with it is stellar. But the more information you have, the better. So snooping in on your competitors, highly recommend. The next one I have is probably no surprise, but if you checked out one of my last couple of podcast episodes talking about the changes in email deliverability and authentication, this is huge. I mean, this is going to be so pivotal to this Black Friday this year. Have you built trust with inbox providers now that you've been authenticated? So what I mean by this is, let's say, since you've been on your email program, you've been blasting your full list. There's no segmentation. You're seeing your open rates decline and decline. And then even during the authentication process, which is when a lot of email programs kind of told you like, hey, you need to plug in these values into where you host your domain so that we know you're legit. And then you continued to burn down the house by still sending to everybody, no segmentation. You're setting yourself up for failure this Black Friday. So what I need you to do, on top of that auditing piece that we had just talked about, I'm going to need you to take a step back and look at your list. Is it clean? Are we segmenting? What is our engagement right now? Because if we don't take advantage of this summertime, July and August, to build some trust in the inbox, to tell inbox providers, hey, we're not a spammy brand, it's going to be 10 times harder this Black Friday because you're competing against everybody else in the inbox. Everyone else is sending 5 emails this week, and you're trying to send out your one, and inbox providers, they don't like you because you haven't been trustworthy. They see that you've been sending to people who don't want your emails. So I'm going to need you right now to come up with a repair plan. I'm going to link an article in the show notes that I wrote for Klaviyo. Like, oh my God, I think in like 2022. It's been a hot minute, but I'll link it below because it talks about how I got one of my clients out of a very bad reputation status and domain into what Gmail and Google consider a high-ranking domain. In just I think I had in 4 weeks. So in a month, able to repair it so that we are now at our top cleanest bill of health for inboxes to make sure we land in the inbox. So I'll link that below. It's super helpful. Runs through steps on how to use tools like Google Postmasters, how to do some segmentation, maybe a little dated with the segmentation part of it because there's been a few changes to how Klaviyo does it, specifically a Klaviyo tutorial. But there's tons of good insight in there on steps that you can take right now. Lastly, this is more on the creative side, but you have time right now to start prepping your assets and your visuals for Black Friday. And I feel like so many brands wait until the very last minute, and I see us taking images of our product under a Christmas tree, and it's just you can tell it's one of those last minute throw together things of here, it's seasonal now. You should definitely work on if you can afford it with your brand, doing shoots, getting things prepped so you have great content for Black Friday. My main recommendation to that, and I tell my clients this too, don't lean into seasonality. Like, we want to make sure you can use these assets for future promos. Like, you're not locked into it. So maybe there's a little bit of a touch of a fall feel to it, or maybe, for example, like, you're a candle brand, and so it has like kind of this like darker silk background to it, or elements like that feel special. They kind of stand out. They're not your usual, but they look premium. They stand out in the inbox, because that is the big piece about Black Friday, right? You have milliseconds to capture someone's attention. They're in the shopping mood. They're ready to shop. If you've given them some heads up, you've given them some notice, and they get this email in their inbox, the visuals need to just get that click. So sending out a stock product image at the top of your email, it's not going to cut it. We need to have some actual assets, some visuals to work with, so that we can really wow people when they open the email. So big thing there, if you don't have your marketing assets lined up, start planning it now. All right, guys, those are just a few helpful tips on how to start planning for Black Friday right now in July 2024, so that you're ready to have your best Black Friday ever. Have any other tips that you want to share? Some of this kind of pre-planning things you like to do for your brand? Let me know. And until next time, I will see y'all in the inbox. Bye.